97 VPN services, 23 companies. The market looks like competition. It is consolidation. 4 corporate structures control the most recognized VPN brands in the world. Kape Technologies, the Adware company that rebranded, spent over $1 billion acquiring Express and PIA, then bought the review sites that cover its own products. Nord Security, the Lithuanian founders who built the most audited consumer VPN in the market and chose not to tell customers about a server breach for 19 months. Ziff Davis, the media conglomerate whose IPVanish brand produced connection logs for Homeland Security while marketing itself as Zero Logs. Private Internet Access, the brand that passed 2 FBI subpoena tests under Andrew Lee, then sold to the former Adware company. 3 questions determine what any of this means. Who actually owns the company? Have they ever produced logs under a no-logs claim? And do the owner's other businesses conflict with the privacy product? The answers to those questions, not the brand name, are what is actually being trusted. Kape Technologies began as Crossrider, a browser extension platform associated with Adware, catalogued as a threat family by Malwarebytes. Teddy Sagi acquired control in 2012. The company rebranded as Kape Technologies in March 2018. Between 2017 and 2021, Kape acquired CyberGhost, ZenMate, Private Internet Access for $95.5 million, VPN Mentor and WizCase, and ExpressVPN for $936 million. The former CTO of ExpressVPN had been named in a Department of Justice proceeding for participating in Project Raven, a UAE surveillance operation targeting journalists and activists, before the acquisition. Kape went private under Teddy Sagi's Unique Mind vehicle. The structural concern, Adware history, no public accountability, and review sites that evaluate its own products without prominent conflict disclosure inside individual reviews. Nord Security was founded in 2012 in Vilnius, Lithuania, by Tomas Okmanas and Eimantas Sabaliauskas. The company grew for a decade as a bootstrapped company before raising external capital, reaching a $3 billion valuation by 2023, with founders retaining majority control. In 2022, Nord Security merged with Surfshark, making 2 frequently compared brands the same corporate entity. The structural concern, a server breach in March 2018, was not disclosed to customers until October 2019, 19 months later. Tsenet, the Lithuanian startup builder behind NordVPN's early development, also has portfolio connections to Honeygain and Oxy Labs, companies that commoditize residential internet connections commercially. Ziff Davis is a publicly traded media conglomerate. PC Mag, IGN, Mashable, Everyday Health. IPVanish is the security division. IPVanish was created in 2012 by Highwinds Network Group in Orlando on content delivery network infrastructure. In June 2016, Homeland Security Investigations sent a records request to Highwinds regarding an IPVanish user. Highwinds produced connection logs and subscriber information. The user was identified. At the time, IPVanish marketed itself as Zero Logs. The production of records is documented in court filings and reported by Torrent Freak in 2018. J2 Global, which already owned PC Mag, acquired IPVanish in April 2019 and renamed itself Ziff Davis in 2021. Ziff Davis sold Ookla to Accenture for $1.2 billion in March 2026. The structural concern, confirmed log production under a Zero Logs claim, PC Mag reviewing IPVanish with partial disclosure, and US jurisdiction, creating government compulsion exposure. Private Internet Access was founded around 2010 by Andrew Lee under London Trust Media. Open source applications on GitHub. Technical architecture designed to not store user activity data. In 2016, an FBI subpoena produced minimal metadata and no activity logs. In 2018, a second court proceeding produced the same result. In November 2019, Andrew Lee sold PIA to Kape Technologies for $95.5 million. The structural concern, the most court-tested privacy brand in the series, is now owned by the most Adware-associated corporate parent. The 3 series questions applied to all 4 entities. Who actually owns the company? Kape, a private company under a single controlling shareholder with Adware origins and no public reporting obligations. Nord Security, founder-controlled with minority institutional investors, EU jurisdiction, GDPR constraints, and meaningful accountability structures. Ziff Davis, a publicly traded media company under US jurisdiction with transparency obligations and US government compulsion exposure. PIA, Kape-owned, the same corporate parent as the Adware question. Have they ever produced logs under a no-logs claim? Kape's brands, no confirmed log production. Nord Security, no confirmed log production. Ziff Davis's IPVanish, yes, under prior ownership in 2016 documented in court records. PIA, the opposite, 2 federal proceedings in 2016 and 2018, both producing no activity logs. Do the owner's other businesses conflict with the privacy product? Kape owns VPN, Mentor, and WizCase, review sites that evaluate its own VPNs without prominent in-review conflict disclosure. Nord Security's startup ecosystem includes Honeygain and Oxylabs, which sell residential proxy and data extraction services commercially. Ziff Davis owns PCMag, which reviews IPVanish. PIA's owner, Kape, carries the same structural conflicts as Kape itself. None of these 4 entities are free of trust complications. The questions are which complications are most relevant for the specific user and their specific threat model, and whether the user knew about the complications before choosing a brand on the basis of a star rating and a marketing claim. The product records are not uniformly poor. Nord Security's 6 Deloitte no-logs audits are the strongest external verification program in the consumer VPN market. PIA's 2 FBI subpoena results are the most concrete court-tested evidence in the series that a no-logs policy actually works when challenged. ExpressVPN's RAM-only server architecture and PIA's Deloitte audits under Kape in 2024 and 2025 represent genuine verification investment. IPVanish's 2 post-incident audits by Leviathan Security and Shellman verify current no-logs practice under Ziff Davis. The technical configurations of these products are largely what they claim to be, and independent auditors have verified that repeatedly. What audits cannot do is resolve the ownership question. An audit verifies what a company does with data today. It does not verify what an owner could instruct the company to do tomorrow. It does not explain why a VPN concealed a breach for 19 months. It does not address whether an Adware company's successor has different institutional values from the Adware company. It does not resolve whether a media conglomerate will resist government pressure on a privacy product. The alternatives that avoid these questions entirely are not in this series because they do not have the corporate ownership problems being examined. Mulvad, Swedish company, no account required, cash payment accepted. Proton VPN, Swiss company, non-profit parent organization. Neither has the corporate trust problems documented in this series. They are the benchmark against which these 4 entities fall short. Use a Kape-owned VPN if the requirement is features, the court-tested no-logs record of PIA specifically, or price, and if the Adware history and private company structure are known variables in the threat model rather than disqualifying ones. PIA's 2 federal subpoena results are the strongest evidence in the series that a no-logs policy works under real adversarial legal pressure. ExpressVPN's RAM-only architecture is independently verified. Accept that Crossrider is in the corporate history, that the review sites create a structural conflict of interest, and that a private company controlled by a single shareholder has no public reporting obligations to the users of its products. Use NordVPN if the requirement is the most polished consumer VPN with the strongest ongoing audit program and the largest verified server network. Accept the 19-month breach disclosure gap, the TSANet ecosystem connections to residential proxy businesses, and the 2025 auto-renewal lawsuits against both Nord-owned brands simultaneously. Use IPVanish if the requirement is unlimited devices at a budget price point with current no-logs verification from 2 independent auditors. Accept that the brand produced logs under a zero-logs claim in 2016 under prior ownership, that PCMag and IPVanish share a parent company, and that US jurisdiction creates legal compulsion risk that EU-based VPNs face differently. Use PIA if the court-tested proof chain is the primary requirement and the Kape ownership is an acceptable trade-off, given that the technical verification has continued under new ownership and the most recent audits and transparency reports confirm no data disclosed. The VPN industry's dirty secret is not which company is least trustworthy. It is that the brand name on the app icon rarely tells the user whose incentives are actually at stake when something goes wrong. The 3 questions this series kept asking are the right ones to ask about any privacy product. Who owns it? Have they ever broken the promise? And what else do they do with infrastructure like yours?